I remember there was a time I struggled to understand native speakers. Movies were too fast for me, conversations felt overwhelming, and I kept asking people to repeat themselves. Does it sound familiar to you? And all of a sudden, I decided to change everything in just 1 month. And I wanted to improve my listening skills because I was sick of not understanding movies, people, and feeling demotivated. And I changed everything in just 1 month. I started to understand English naturally. I could watch movies without subtitles most of the time, without the stress and without taking expensive classes. And in this video, I'm gonna share the 30-day plan that changed everything and improved my English listening skills. So, if you want to finally understand fast English and native speakers, keep watching. Don't forget to like this video and subscribe to this channel for more learning tips. To be honest, I wasn't always good at listening. In fact, I used to struggle a lot. And I did lots of things. I did many things. I tried many methods to improve my listening skill, but none of them worked. Except for this 30-day plan that changed everything and took my listening skills to another level. What were my biggest problems? Everything sounded too fast in English for me, and I couldn't understand native speakers because they didn't sound like textbooks I used to study. I couldn't catch individual words, and I panicked when I didn't understand something. Instead of focusing to understand that thing, I just got frustrated and I lost my focus, my concentration. Of course, the worst part was I relied too much on subtitles. If I turned them off, I understood nothing, absolutely nothing. So, if you're like me now, I found the best way, I found the perfect plan, the perfect 30-day plan to fix all of these problems. And today, I'm gonna share this plan. So, imagine you have 30 days or 1 month ahead of yourself to fix your listening problems. Let's start with the first week. For the first week, you should just train your ears to recognize the sounds of English language. So, in the first week, I didn't focus on listening and understanding every word. I just focused on training my ears to recognize the sounds, rhythm, and patterns of English. And here's what I exactly did. I watched 15 to 10 minutes of English every day, but without subtitles, no subtitles. And I focused on pronunciation and linking words. Listen to what I say. What do you want to eat? This is a normal sentence, you see it everywhere, but when native speakers want to say this sentence, you hear something like, what do you want to eat? What do you want to eat? See? They link the words together, and it sounds like one long word, but it's a sentence. They just link the words together and they group the words together. What do you want to eat? What do you want to eat? And of course, I used the pause and repeat method. Every sentence that I heard and I liked that sentence, I paused the video, I paused the audio, and repeated that sentence out loud to get used to natural speech. This is the best way you can do it. But my tip for the first week is don't stress about understanding everything. Just relax and trust the process and just train your ears to recognize English sounds and patterns. For the second week, I focused on understanding words and phrases. Now that my ears were used to the words and English sounds, it was time for me to understand specific words, and this week was a game changer for me. First of all, you should choose a video. And you should watch that video twice. First time without subtitles. Yes, without subtitles. You just want to become familiar with the sounds and phrases. And for the second time, you turn on the subtitles and watch that video again. and you check what you missed. The second step is I listen to slow contents in English, like TED Talks, podcasts, and audiobooks. By the way, you can find my slow English podcasts here. And the third step was I practiced chunking. You don't need to understand every word, you have to practice chunking words. Like, instead of learning I got to go, you have to learn I gotta go. See? This is called chunking. You group some words together. You group some specific words together. So, if you're watching or listening to something in English and if you hear a new phrase, don't just move on. Pause and repeat it out loud. And of course, take a note. By the third week, I wanted to get used to fast, real life English. So I leveled up my practices. I started to watch fast contents like TV shows, vlogs, and interviews. I used the speed trick. What is it? When you want to watch something, instead of just watching it with a normal pace, play the video with a faster speed to challenge your brain. And of course, the golden method of all times, I used the shadowing technique. You know what's shadowing technique, right? I've talked about it many times. So shadowing technique is basically you watch something and you pause after each sentence and repeat exactly the tone, the intonation, the rhythm, and what the speaker said. So this is called shadowing technique. By using shadowing technique, you can improve your listening and speaking skills at the same time. And of course, your pronunciation will go to another level. So now it's time to pick a YouTuber or a TV show. And you have to copy exactly what they're saying. This will have a huge impact on your listening and pronunciation. And in the final week, I wanted to learn real life English and I just tested myself in different situations. How did I do that? Because I'm not living in an English speaking country. So how did I manage to do that? I listened to everyday contents. Like I watched, street talks, I watched street interviews, podcasts, YouTube videos, everything that was related to real life English. And of course, I use this golden method called predict and confirm. When I watched an interview in English, when someone asked something from someone else, I paused the video and I predicted their answers, their replies, and I played the video again and maybe they had the same answer. And of course, I stopped translating everything in my head. I forced myself to think in English while listening. So my tip here, imagine you're in the conversation. Even if you're watching something in English, just imagine you're a part of this conversation and imagine yourself as the speaker, as the interviewer. And I did all of these for 30 days, and after 30 days, I could see a huge difference. I could understand English more naturally. I didn't need subtitles all the time, just sometimes. I needed them. And fast speech wasn't scary anymore. And I feel confident while listening or watching something in English. If I could do this in just 1 month, you can too. Just be patient and trust the process. Improving your listening skill doesn't have to be that hard. Follow the 30-day plan I gave to you, and I promise you'll see the difference. The key is consistency, like I always say. Even if it's just for 10 to 15 minutes a day, you have to be consistent and practice every day. Now tell me, what's the hardest part of listening to English for you? Put it in the comments below and let's talk about it and come up with a solution. I'll always be happy to see your comments.